Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to our study of Proverbs. Coming into chapter 6, we will see that the author is at it again. Again, as a father speaking to his children, exhorting them in so many ways. He will eventually come back to sexual sin and its dangers at the end of the chapter. But for now, we want to focus on two small sections that more or less is surrounded by the idea of finances, or I would say more diligence. We're going to look at both of them together because I really believe they interconnect. And we will remind ourselves, Book of Proverbs is not the law. It's not a book telling us what to do or not to do. It is a book to help us think right. That's what wisdom is, to reason in a way God would reason, according to truth, according to his revelation. He's going to use imagery, literally from the animal kingdom, and poetry, repetition, to speak to us about this important subject that is diligence. We begin with verse 1, where he says, "My son, if you have put up security for your neighbor, have given your pledge for a stranger." Do not miss the parallelism. If you remember that Jewish poetry has repetition that's said differently. So security for a neighbor and a pledge for a stranger. But it's saying the same thing in a different way. But then we see also the contrast. A neighbor was somebody literally close, like a friend, actually. That's what the word meant here. While stranger couldn't be completely more opposite. We're talking about somebody who is living from another country. So we've seen the distinction be presented to us. The spectrum of people you could be helping out. Now some have tried to make sense of it by saying that the neighbor is the one you're helping, and he owes money to the stranger. But again, nothing in the text shows that. It seems to be the same thing, just repeated. I believe by putting that spectrum before us, the author, this father, is just showing us it could be anybody. Anybody you want to be a pledge for. You want to be a co-signer for. You want to really try to help them in their financial situation. Anybody. From the neighbor to the stranger. Well, there might be a problem though. If you are snared in the words of your mouth, caught in the words of your mouth, there's blatant repetition here, right? The words of your mouth. And we've seen how these words of our mouth can really lead us into sin. Especially when he talks about being snared and caught. These are words we've seen before when we talk about the strange man in chapter 1, or the criminals in chapter 2, and the criminals in chapter 1, or the seductive women over and over again. Sin itself that wants to snare us and capture us. So, I do not believe that he's saying all efforts to be co-signers or guarantors is wrong. But it's in those where you realize, wait a second, I think I got caught up in something. I think I'm in a situation here that's not good for me. You've looked at all the facts afterwards and you realize, whoa, I made a mistake. I believe that's the point here. Then what should you do? Give up? Beg God to do everything for you? Actually, no. Then do this. My son. Remember, this is like God talking to us. And save yourself, for you have come into the hand of your neighbor. Go and hasten and plead urgently with your neighbor. I don't miss it. Again, come into the hands. Again, like being captured. It's not necessarily that he wants to do evil to you, but the situation you're not caught into is not a good one. So you have to be diligent to save yourself. Go. Plead urgently. The word hasten here actually means to humble yourself. Go. Humble yourself. Plead with him. Let me out of the deal. I made a mistake. I wanted to help you. I don't think I can. Again, we are called as Christians or believers to help brothers and sisters out, to help other people in this world out if we can. But sometimes we bite up more than we can chew. And the Christian thing to do the believer thing to be doesn't seem to be just take it. No, there seems to be a call for wisdom from God that says, if you can, try to get out of it. But again, put in your efforts though. Lord, deliver me. And here's God saying, okay, but do your part though. See, I've learned that myself. There is a sense of, yes, Lord, help me. But then God saying, okay, but is there a part you can play? Are you being diligent to be delivered from this? And that's why he will continue and say, give your eyes no sleep and your eyelids no slumber. Save yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter, like a bird from the hand of the fowler. Again, a bird being captured, like in chapter 1 with the bad guys. A gazelle being hunted. It really seems like, okay, again, maybe not the neighbor was purposely trying to fool you, but still the situation is not good for you. You're in a trap. Get out of it. Put in the efforts to get out of it. It's humiliating. I made a mistake. I thought the Lord wanted me to do this, and I found out I was wrong. Then get out of it. It's humiliating, but do that. There's a wisdom in that. God-given wisdom in that. We need to take advantage of that, to realize that. Now don't miss the idea of give your eyes no sleep and your eyelids no slumber. Yes, again, diligence, like we just saw, but I think it's also some foreshadow, kind of pointing to the next subject he wants to bring up, which is, of course, laziness. Yeah, he's going to continue now and say, go to the end, O sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. Again, we see a three-part plan here that we want to pay attention to. Go to the end. So get off your bed. Consider, reflect, meditate, consider what's going on, but not just ponder it. Be wise. That's when you're going to be active afterwards. You have learned something, then do it. So get up, get some information, act according to it. Again, we're seeing this aspect of do your part. Do your part. He will continue to give us a beautiful description of the ant that's meant to really, again, speak to us in a poetic way. He's going to say, without having any chief, officer, or ruler, she prepares her bread in summer and gathers her food in harvest. Again, we don't, literally, ants don't get bread, right? Or they don't actually prepare food in a harvest. But we'll get what he's trying to say. These ants, who actually do have rulers, by the way, we've found out as queens and stuff, but back then, they didn't. There's still a sense of, look at these ants, they're diligent, they're active, they realize they need food, and when the winter time comes, they can't go out of their holes, their ant farms, and get food on the ground, so they're preparing for the winter time. The simple little brain of an ant understands seasons come, seasons go. Times I can get the food, times I can't. I prepare for that. There's fables about these things, right? You're supposed to learn from them. Again, go, consider it, but be wise. And that's why he will then really strike at this sluggard, this lazy person, and say, how long will you lie there, O sluggard? When will you arise from sleep? He's really, like, literally shaking this person in his bed. Stop it. Get up. Do something. Be active. Don't just say the Lord will provide. Get up. Do something. God will help me. Get up. Do something. Again, remember that the eyes and the slumber and everything. Here we see it again. Stop laying there. Arise already. Do something, you sluggard. And then he's going to hit home with a bit of sarcasm, as he usually does when he speaks to the sluggard, and say this. A little sleep, a little slumber, like we just saw before. A little folding of the hands to rest, and poverty will come upon you, like a robber. And want like an armed man. We see the mocking here. We see the ridiculous idea. You're folding your hands to such a point that you just fall asleep and you wake up and it's harvest season's over already. It's ridiculous. It's exaggerated. Like when he talks about the sluggard who puts his hand in the bowl and is too lazy to bring it back to his hand, to his mouth to feed. That's extreme. But that's the point, though. As we saw before, go, consider, be wise, do. Here we're seeing it kind of in reverse. You start by folding your hands, you fall asleep, and then you end up in poverty. So either you go up 3 ways or you come down 3 ways. Or you do 3 steps and succeed, or 3 steps and you're ruined. And it's not literally 3 steps. It's figurative language. It's poetry. It's meant to make us think. To make us think about poverty coming up upon us like some kind of criminal. Right? Where did that come from? He just jumped on me and took all I had. But no, you were lazy. That's why it happened. It's interesting because this armed man expression here literally spoke of a hobo, somebody who was just traveling from town to town and had no food. He was depending on the kindness of a stranger. If you're not careful, you'll end up that guy. You'll just be drifting around and just hoping people give you a bit of food here and there. From a whole farm, if you will, a whole land you had, and your laziness not taking care of it, and next thing you know, you're just a hobo traveling around. That's how bad it could be. And there's a sense where even spiritually speaking, if you're not actively taking your time in the Word and in prayer, actively seeking to serve the Lord, you're going to slowly degenerate, step backwards, and fall. There's a diligence called in the real life and in the spiritual life as well. So there's double application going on here. But again, it's a reminder. Both of these teachings, it's a reminder. We do have a part. And we have to be active in that part. Paul talks about it. Peter, John, there's a part and we have to be active in it in every sense possible. In a spiritual life, sanctification, and in our real life. God is not against us doing a good job here on earth. Not necessarily succeeding in business, but still honoring God by being a faithful worker or whatever like that. May this remind us of such a truth, brothers and sisters. And on this note, be blessed.